Hey everyone, welcome back to another website audit. If you're new here, my name's Jess. I've been a website designer for 13 years and I go live every week to audit someone's website. Now, these people have volunteered. I'm not just picking on random people. So if you would like a website audit, leave your link down in the comments below and I will add you to the list. But without further ado, let's dive into Eileen's website. So this is the homepage. We have a very clear, easy to read heading, Thrive Through Perimenopause. I do think this could be just a tiny bit more specific because what does thriving during perimenopause mean? You do say boost your energy, confidence, well-being. So, I mean, we're talking a little bit about energy and confidence, but I think either making it a little more clear or adding a little bit of emotion or personality. So, don't just survive, but thrive during perimenopause. I just think we could zhuzh this up a little bit. The other thing, I would like to see some women in this photo instead of just vegetables. I think that would give some life to the website. There's nothing wrong with stock photos. In fact, you're probably going to have to use a stock photo of women. But I think sometimes just photos of food like this, where it's like the first thing we see, can make the brand and the website feel a little flat. And so I would recommend adding some women here. Um, I like that we have a little bit of context. Here's how I can work with you, that kind of thing. This, all of this text right here, these 3 paragraphs needs to be left aligned. It's easier to read. That is a good note for anybody and everybody. The only time text should be center aligned like this is if it's a very short, this is totally fine that this is all centered because it's 3 lines and it's larger and it's very easy to read. But when you get down here, the different start and end points of each line, it makes it harder for people to read. That's why all of our books are left aligned. Everything we read typically is left aligned. So I would just adjust that. And then I have a little bit of an introduction here, ready to dive in. The thing is I'm not ready to dive in because I don't exactly know how you work with me. Granted, I didn't actually read all this. I just talked about it, but from a quick skim, I don't see any specific mentions of packages, programs, pricing. I don't need to know the pricing on the front page, but I'm not seeing any specifics of work with me for the next 6 months or do some testing or something. So I'm not ready to dive in. I'm not ready to chat because I don't actually know how exactly I work with you from looking at this page so far. So instead, one, I would add a little bit more context of I have a program or I have packages. We don't need all the nitty-gritty details that belongs on the work with me page, but a little bit of an intro would be helpful. And I would right here, I would change this to learn more. Instead of a let's chat, send to the work with me page. We're asking them to set up a call when we haven't even told them what we do yet. So we need a little bit more context here. So that's what I would kind of tweak on this page. I like that it's clear. I like the layout is very clean. So that's all good. I just think a little bit of clarity in some places would be really good. So let's hop over to the about page. We get a little introduction, another picture view, which is always good, your story, fun facts, certifications, all very, very good. And so the only thing I would maybe change is this, hi, I'm Eileen. I would maybe tweak that to I'm Eileen, your hormone BFF or something, again, giving a little context of who you are, what you do, but in maybe a little bit of a fun way. Or I'm Eileen, your hormone expert, something like that. So let's go to the work with me. So this is your program. I like that you are very specific here about this is who it's for and this is what we're doing. I always tell people like we don't need the name of the program at the top because typically the name of our program, service, package, whatever, isn't going to be super clear in what it is. Obviously, like Flourish and Peri, like based on the homepage, we can kind of figure out like something to do with perimenopause. Um, Sometimes with businesses, their group program course, whatever, is like $10,000 in 10 days. Like it can be a little bit specific, but I still even typically like to have more of the like, this is who it's for and what it's about, or here are the results. Anything like that can be more, I think, is better than just like having the name at the top. So we are talking about like pain points, things they're struggling with, um, what is functional nutrition. I would, instead of having what is functional nutrition, I would kind of change this to still kind of explain what it is, but more so why it's the answer instead of just explaining that. Um, so instead of just what is, I would be like, I wouldn't put this all as a headline because that's really long, but like functional nutrition is the answer, or functional nutrition is your next best step, or something like that. I love that you have the picture of food here. This is a good place to have the picture of food. It in context with the other content around it. This makes sense. So I'm not opposed, like I said, to any food photos, but yeah. Um, here's what's possible inside our 6-month program. This right here is a lot of text. Even with you bolding some things, it's a lot. I don't want to read it. So I would, one, add some icons with each kind of bullet point. Maybe you might need to combine some of these or scrap them. But it's a lot, and just this list, I'm like, I don't want to read any of it. So I would maybe shorten it and then put some like visual icons here to help break it up and just make it more visually interesting. Love that you are very specific about what it includes and the cost. That's great. Love that you have this picture of women here. Again, very good. And then testimonials. And then you have like, we can do, hop on a call. The only thing I would probably do is instead of leaving the testimonials at the bottom of the page where they're probably going to get overlooked, I would bump them up higher. So I would maybe put one testimonial like here at the end of this section, and then another one probably right after this. So you can separate them and put them within the page instead of just dropping them at the bottom where they might not get looked at, because testimonials and social proof is very, very important, very good for conversions. So we want to make sure that people are seeing them. Then we have like your shop page. Oh, that's opening in a new. So these are, looks like some other, okay, here we go. So we have some products. Love this. It's a nice way to break up all the links. You have some visual images, so that's good. Yeah, I would see if you can just shorten the yellow boxes, because there's like, obviously this list over here is longer than the others, but like there's a big space under that. So if you are able, I would shorten that. That's not a deal breaker. It just seems like a lot of extra space that's not totally necessary. Free stuff, that also opens in a new thing. So if you can, I would have that open. Like, I don't think there's a need to open it in a new window or tab. If you can have a page like this with the embed form right there, the less clicks that we cause people to take, the better, the more likely they are to sign up, buy the thing, whatever. So we can reduce clicks, opening new tabs and windows, that's always better. Now, if you're taking people off the site, like with the supplements, that's fine, open that. But with an opt-in, that really should just belong on the site. And then lastly, we have the blog page. Love this. You can see, yeah, the posts, recipes, the title. So no changes here. Sometimes I recommend people, if they're not blogging super often, that they hide the blog dates, but it looks like you were pretty frequent, so that's good. I would see if you can change where it says Eileen Z Nutrition, if you can change that so it just says like your name and isn't like a username or like a handle, like an Instagram handle kind of thing. If you can say like your first and last name or something like that, I think that would be look a little bit more professional, but that's not a deal breaker. So overall, I think just like tweaking a few things here and there would be really helpful. Looking at now your SEO, I it doesn't look like you have any SEO titles. And so I clicked over to your Work With Me page because I'm checking out the SEO titles. So for instance, your homepage is just Thrive Through Perimenopause. You do have perimenopause in the title, so that's great because then you're already using one of your keywords, but I have a hunch no one is actually searching thrive through perimenopause. So we want to do some keyword research to figure out what exactly are people searching. So it might be like perimenopause support for women, perimenopause nutrition. That might be, something like that. Same with your Work With Me page. Right now, the SEO title is also Flourish in Perimenopause. Again, you have the perimenopause, so that's a step in the right direction. I don't know that people are searching Flourish in Perimenopause. And so we want to look for like, okay, is there a perimenopause functional nutrition? Is that a search term that we can use? Anything like that, you want to make sure we're using those keywords. Typically, you also, for best practice and best SEO, you want to use that search term also in the headline. So you might end up wanting to switch this. Um, if you find like that perimenopause and functional nutrition is a good search term, then you may not need to really switch this one, but you may need to switch some of the others. Your about page, your SEO title is your name. So that one's actually pretty good. But you have functional medicine nutritionist. And so here I would probably add something like your functional medicine nutritionist or something like that, so that those keywords are on the page. Because we don't just want it on the back end, we want it on the actual page too, because Google is looking to see like, is this page actually about this term? Like what's this all about? They're paying attention to those little details. So yeah, so I think a few tweaks overall could help push you a little bit forward. So hopefully this was helpful. If you are watching and you have questions, even if you're not Eileen, let me know down in the comments. Again, if you would like your own website audit, leave your link down in the comments, and I will see y'all next time.